Hello y'all, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a few days of reading. So I think I just posted my last reading vlog, so that's up, and I was like, why not just start a new one, right? So I do feel a little more hopeful about this week's reads because I'm excited for one of them like immensely, and then I have the audio for another with the actual physical book, and I'm in the mood to read, you guys. It's great. I love it. And we have a library hold to pick up, at least one. I'm gonna hope to go when a couple more holds come in. So I'm jazzed. I'm loving reading at the moment. So the first book that is top priority is, drum roll please, Cover Story by Mhairi McFarlane. I know it's not out in America yet. I think it's only out in the UK, but I always check NetGalley when I remember that it's coming out there first, and then I request it. I've been approved every single time, and I was not let down this time. I got approved, so we are going to be reading that book this week. I don't really know what it's about because one of my worst character traits is that I have piss poor memory. So I don't remember things, but a good facet of that trait is that it's always a surprise, a good surprise, when I figure out what a book is about after I've previously read the synopsis when I first heard about it. So I actually did know what this book was about at once upon a time. I do not anymore, but we're going to read and find this out. All I know is that the main character's name is Belle. That is all I know. So we're going to be reading that one. Again, cannot wait. And the next book that I would love to get to this week is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. If you can see right here, I have, beside all my granny squares, I have a bunch of Austens because I love her work. I'm a fan of Miss Austen's work. And I really do need to give Pride and Prejudice a reread, but that is not going to happen in the near future. But I do have a physical copy. I think it's downstairs, but I'll show you in a second. I do have a copy of Sense and Sensibility, and I've had this copy for years, and I figured take the plunge, just start reading it. And I do have the audiobook from Libby, so I'm going to try and do a tandem read because it just goes so well. I like the audio and I like the book itself. So I think this one's about two sisters, Eleanor and, starts with an M. Not Marlene. Her name starts with an M. I'll hit myself. I will be like, when I can't remember it and I'll know it. Mary. Meriwether? I don't know. Marjorie? I don't know. Well, it's about these two sisters, and they're the Dashwood sisters, and their dad has passed away, and their dad had a son from his previous marriage, and their money goes to him, their house goes to him, and while this is happening, they have some suitors, because of course you have to have suitors in a Jane Austen novel, and I love that part of the novels. I love all the walks. I love all of the dashing men, and I love the description that Jane Austen employs. I just like how she writes. She gets me. So yeah, so those are two of the books that we're going to read, and then if I have the inkling, I do want to start on Prince Caspian because it's very short and I feel like I should just get this done because I want to finish the whole series this year. So I need to get started on the second book. So yeah. Other things that are happening. I'm dancing in a show tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. But after that, I'm pretty much on my little break before my summer camps start, teaching-wise for ballet. So I'm basically unemployed until then, so I have lots of time to read. So, read and crochet, because as you guys know, I am basic, I am following the train, the hype train. Crochet is in its renaissance right now, so that's what I'm doing. So, keep watching if you wanna find out what I think about all these books. All right, first update for cover story. I really like it. And now I know what it's about again. I remember from my first perusal of the synopsis way back in like November. I know, a long time ago. Ages, eons. It's about Belle and Connor, and Belle is an investigative journalist, and she's working for this place and has another, like, it only has two full-time employees, her and Aaron, and they do similar things but not the same job area. And they always have an intern that's with them, and it's usually this young person that just could not care less, and they're always like, when's this person gonna leave? And it's only for 3 months usually. The internship lasts 3 months. And so in walks Connor. And Connor is not the usual 24-year-old. He is 34, same age as Belle. And he is in a period of transition job-wise, career-wise. And he also has made a terrible first impression with Belle. And I'm very sure, I'm certain, simply because of this cover, that Belle and Connor will have a sort of forced proximity type of a trope, which I'm a fan of. I think every romance lover is a fan of that. You have to be. I also love this book so far because, okay, it's the humor. The humor is very Vari. It's very Austenian, like I said before, which is so funny, paralleling it to what I'm also reading, which is Sense and Sensibility, which is, I feel like, one of the funniest Austens. I haven't read all of them, but I've read quite a few. I've read Emma, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Persuasion. I think that's probably it. But of all of those, this one is probably one of the funniest. But the parallels between this, it's the quippy humor. It's the quippy humor. I love quippy. But another reason why I really like this book is that it is, I think Vari does a great job when she does dual perspectives. So we do get Belle's perspective and Connor's. So I'm really, and like, it's the reason why I like that so much with this particular book is because Connor's character, it's not everything is as it seems, which is true for everyone. You never know what anyone's going through. But you can really tell that he's not meaning to make these first impressions, and he's not meaning to say these things, and it's just his particular way of thinking in his brain, and his life, his trajectory in life that's making him, you know, not come off the way he should. And Belle just recently, I just read a part where she has a lead. She has a lead on a case, so I really like it. I'm so excited to keep going. I'm only 13% in, and I'm already enthused. I haven't had a 5-star since the most fun we ever had. I did that squint because it's right there. It's right there. But yeah, can't wait to keep going. Speaking of Sense and Sensibility, ooh, shoddy, this book is good. And do you know why it's good? Because Marianne, and I do know her name now, it's Marianne. Marianne is such a funny character. So, of course, Sense and Sensibility is about the 2 sisters, and there's actually 3 sisters, but the other one's name is Margaret. Margaret is basically, like, we don't care. She's like the 3rd Skylar sister. She is Peggy. And so I am 16 chapters in, and so far what has happened is that they moved from Sussex to an area that I do not remember the name of, but it's okay. So they move there, and they immediately get into, you know, polite society, and you have Eleanor. She kind of has a man's, but not really. Marianne is like, he's too dull, he's too sensible. He needs to, she basically is like, her man has to be as romantic as her, and that she just wants this fairy tale love that honestly is not realistic. And not everyone, and Eleanor says as much. She's like, darling, you need to get your head on straight. And so they end up meeting these people, like they meet Colonel Brandon, and he wants to court Marianne, and Marianne's like, he's 35, he's old, and Eleanor's like, that's not that old, but she's like, he's an old fogey. And so she decides, I'm not gonna get with him, and then she has a meet cute with John Willoughby, and Willoughby, he is everything she could ask for. And their meet cute is, he like saves her from falling, he helps her up, you know, and she's like, it was worth the sprained ankle. But yeah, that's basically the gist. Nothing's really happened. I mean, we had a little scandal with Willoughby kind of cutting and running, but other than that, nothing's really happened, especially with Eleanor. Nothing's happened with her yet. And I really want something to happen because I love Eleanor. She's just so practical, and the humor is up my alley. So I find I have a difficult time, I guess, comprehending Austen's work because it feels like she's using a lot of words to say a very simple thing. But this is not the case with this book. I feel like I'm getting it pretty easily. So I think I'm like 23-ish% in. It's going well. And now I'm like, do I need to watch an adaptation? Methinks. But yeah, I'm gonna make some coffee, have a little brunch, do a little dance, get down tonight. My biscuits are ready. Cover story is really doing it for me. I am loving the enemies sending like jibes like back and forth to each other, and now they're in the little cover story thing, which is why it's called cover story. So that has ramped up the tension a little bit more. And yeah, I'm like 40% in, so honestly, I think I just want to try to finish this today. It is currently a Sunday, and it's only about 3:30, so I mean, it's feasible. It's feasible. I don't know if it's doable though. But yeah, I have nothing else to do today, so might as well. Oh my goodness, I love Vari books. I cannot wait till this comes out physically so I can get my hands on a copy. Oh, why did I not read the cover? It literally says, 2 office rivals, 1 secret mission. Now all they need is the perfect ellipses cover story. You know, sometimes it seems like I don't read, and that I am illiterate, even though I have a whole channel dedicated to such an act. Anyway, but also in the meantime, what I was doing between reading and baking is I'm trying my hand at my little reading journal again. I just figured, why not do what I can? The problem is that I'm always caught up in this act of needing things to be cute, but for what? You know? So anyway, so that's that. I'm going to continue reading. Hopefully I will have an update at the end of the night stating that I have finished it. It's so cute. It was so cute. Can you see my face? Hello. This was such a cute story. And I'm gonna give it 5 stars because that's what I give every Vari, because I don't know. It's just the tension and the lack of instant gratification and the like. Okay, so this story, the main plot is the cover story, right? It's the investigation that Belle has, and then Connor is dragged into, and them having to fake being a couple. I don't think that's a spoiler, but yeah, they fake being a couple. And them basically just being like, I hate you, but we all know they like each other, right? And so that, you know, A plot takes center stage for about 85% of the book. Then, after all of that is, has been solved, you're like, okay, so what next? And so obviously, in Vari style, it is time to see what's up between the 2 characters. So, oh, the other thing is that I always love her male characters. Belle's a nice character, don't get me wrong, but Connor is my guy, my man, my dude. And I feel like he's a softer character, but he also has this like fierce side to him that I really enjoy. Yeah. And and Belle's friend Shilpa, love her. Love her. She was awesome too. It was just like the amount of tropes that are in this book are insane, but I didn't mind it. Didn't care. Loved all of it. And yeah. If you could have seen my face when I was reading like the last 10%, it was like I was going to start crying. Happy tears. So anyway, I love this book. I just really want a physical copy. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I want the physical copy. Anyway, loved it. And oh gosh, and there's like, obviously Vari's books always touch on like a theme. So this one was a particular theme in regards to the story that she's covering. But there was also a theme of like feeling like an imposter in your life, and so acting like you think you need to act and acting cooler. And that's a little bit of what Belle does. So I don't know. A1 steak sauce of a book. Loved. I took very many highlights. And yeah, I don't know where this lines up in like my ranking of Bari's backlist. I feel like, I'm looking over there at my bookshelf. I feel like it's definitely above Mad About You and You Had Me at Hello, I believe. It's definitely not, it's not as good as If I Never Met You. It's somewhere in the middle, probably above Between Us as well. I just know that whenever I'm feeling like the romances that are being put out right now are just utter crapola and I'm just like incredibly jaded, then Vara comes out with a book and I'm like, this is what love is. And it makes me feel, to quote this book, existentially lonely. So that's what I feel like now. That was the reason why I almost started crying, because I was like, I'm so alone. You know? Anyway, okay, what's next? We're going to read another book tomorrow. I'm so glad that I read that and that I got a book checked off. I think I will do a little review in my reading journal tomorrow, so I'll have that footage hopefully. And yeah, I think I'm going to continue reading, well, I'm definitely going to continue reading Sense and Sensibility. And then, who knows, I'll either pick Jurassic Park back up, or I'll start Prince Caspian, or I'll continue reading The Perfect Divorce, which is a book that I picked up from Libby a couple days ago. And I'm actually like 30% of the way into that one. It's by Geneva Rose, so we'll see what actually happens. Only you will know. Okay. Nighty-night. Hey y'all, so as you saw, I watched Okay, so this makes no sense unless you actually say it out loud. And even then, I don't think it's going to make that much sense, but it makes sense in my brain. So I'm assuming that I can explain it to you very well and concise. So I was reading Sense and Sensibility, and I've gotten to page 203. So, woo, we are making progress. And I love this book. I love it with my whole heart and soul. See, I keep getting sidetracked. So, if Eleanor and Colonel Brandon do not get together, I will shed a tear. It will make me sad, and I'm gonna have to take a moment if that doesn't happen. Because they are so cutie, and Eleanor is such a practical ma'am. But I just want the best for her. And Marianne, I don't hate Marianne. I think, why did I say her name so weird? I don't hate Marianne, and I think she's cool. I don't hate her because she's so funny. But in general, I only took one highlight and or one tab, and that's because there's just so many funny instances that I'd be going through tabs, you know? But here is to sum up the humor of Jane Austen. She's talking to this woman named Lucy, who we hate Lucy. And for context, Eleanor and Marianne have, been traveling a little bit, and they end up seeing their half-brother, and they're like, oh, hello. And so their half-brother, and the thing is, he and his wife, we have beef too, because he was all, the way I'm recapping this is so jarring. He ended up doing the most, cheap thing, and that's how they ended up at the place they're at. That's not too, it's not too aesthetically pleasing for the Dashwood ladies, but they're there. And so basically the moral of the story is that their brother is kind of cheap, and he follows his wife's orders and yada yada yada. So this character Lucy says, "It would have been such a great pity to have went away before your brother and sister came. And now to be sure you will be in no hurry to be gone. I'm amazingly glad you did not keep to your word." And so then Eleanor is in her little, her character's monologue or whatever. It says, "Eleanor perfectly understood her, and was forced to use all of her self-command to make it appear that she did not." So it's stuff like that, with the little asides and the sassiness, and because back in the day, you couldn't just go off on people. You had to do it subtly, or you had to pretend you didn't understand it at all, And so all the scandals in this book, this is, because I did the bare minimum of research with this book, this is actually Miss Austen's first published work. Stunning. No notes, honestly. For a first novel, this is really good. And it really paved the way for Pride and Prejudice. And I think that her first forays are much better. So I'm loving this. It's going very quickly. Granted, I do have the audio in my ears while I'm reading, but I'm still reading it too. And yeah, I really like it. It's just so catty. I love it. And so I say all this to say, I ended up I wanted to watch an adaptation of an Austen, and I don't want to watch any adaptation of Sense and Sensibility until I have finished the book. So that leaves me with, a few options, and I was like, ooh, I really just like Pride and Prejudice. It's a good book, it's a good movie, but I was like, let me try the serial version, which is everybody knows this, it's the BBC 1995 version. And I watched the first episode, and y'all, it slaps so hard. It's so good. It's just got all of the, it's all of the essence of the book in a TV show. So unfortunately, I will be watching that for the foreseeable future until I'm finished the series. Which is ugh, I'm supposed to be reading right now. But anyway, so yeah, really happy that this is going well. And yeah, what else did I do? I took a shower, so that was great. I have an eyelash in my eye. Ah! And I've just been feeling really in the mood to be creative, so I've been journaling a lot. But yeah. Okay, so tomorrow what's gonna happen is we need to go to the library because the library has been ringing me nonstop saying, honey, your holds are in. So I gotta go pick those up. And then we'll have more books to read. I love reading again. Okay, every once in a while I get in a little mood where I'm like, oh, can I read? Am I a reader? And then a week later it's like, girl, you're fine. You're fine. Folks, we got ourselves a library slash bargain book haul. And yeah, they got me. The way my library works is that you go inside and right off to your very right is a little nook where they have lots of bargain books. So whenever I go there, and I went there with my mom today, so whenever I go there, she's like, ooh, the bargain book place. So then inevitably I go with because I'm not just gonna let her wander by herself. And so I ended up going to the bargain book place. So we're gonna do a little haul of those books. I only bought 3 and I've read one of them. So I think it's okay. And 2 of them are classics. So another reason why I'm justifying. Can you tell that I'm justifying? So I picked up, this is my little stack. I picked up The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. Usually I'm scared of secondhand books, but this one seemed like it was okay. I didn't see any suspicious activity, and it was $4. And I've read it before, and I think I liked it. Have I? Wait. Yes, I have read this one. Do I own this one? Wait. We're good. I don't own this book. That could have been bad. Yeah, I don't own this book, but I have read it via the library ebook. Don't get it twisted. I read it from the library and I really liked it. So I was like, need. I already know I like it, so it's fine. Did I ever tell you what The Hunting Party was about? It's about a New Year's reunion, and it's in the Scottish wilderness, and these people who are, you know, friends end up going, one of the friends is murdered, and then one of them, it says on the back, won't make it out alive. It's just a whodunit, basically. And like their little superlatives are the beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, and the outsider. So that was that. Then I picked up, I just saw this. I picked up King Lear by Mr. William Shakespeare, and I truly do not know why I did. No, never mind, I do. One of my favorite books. Crap, what's it called? It's by Emily St. John Mandel. It's called Station 11. I didn't even need to look. It's called Station 11. One of the plot points in that book involves the play King Lear, and it seemed cool when I read about it. And do I like Shakespeare? Not really. Like, I read one, so I don't know if that means that I don't like his work. I read Romeo and Juliet, you know, because it's basically required in high school, and I didn't like it, but I think it's because I don't like the story itself. And I've done the ballet way too many times, like as a market person, you know? But King Lear, this one says, when King Lear abdicates his throne and divides his kingdom between his 3 daughters, he offends both the law of family and the law of kingship. Spiritually blind and on the brink of madness, he begins to recognize the faults that lie within his soul, and, as the drama reaches its cathartic conclusion, to make amends for them. Ooh, this seems up my alley. So, and like I said, Emily St. John Mandel really sold King Lear for me. So, yeah. And I really like this edition. I like it. And the last bargain book that I picked up was, also, what, how much was this one? This one was $2. And this one, which was $3, is Dante's Inferno. I picked this one up because it was a goal this year for me to read The Inferno, so I'm gonna. And yeah, this says, belonging in the immortal company of the works of blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is just like, the Inferno remains powerful after nearly 7 centuries. It confronts the predestination. Basically, it's about a guy who goes to hell. I'm told that a lot of like Catholics like this book, and I'm trying to be not more Catholic. That's weird. I'm just trying to read more biblically inspired work in my downtime. Also, I'm finding that I'm really liking classics this year, so gonna give it a gander. And thus starts the actual library portion of this video, which is testing myself to read books that have been touched by many people. I'm not going to go into the details, but I've just found some stuff in a couple books. So I'm just trying to be more like, what's the word? Positive towards my local library. And also, my local library just needs more love. Like, this one, the one that I go to is like the most popular one in my city, and it's supposed to be like the best, and it is struggling. It is struggling, so I'm hoping that it gets some love soon. But the books that I got, here is my little stack, la la. So I picked up, we have So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. Basically, I'm just picking up every book that I want to read, but know that I don't want to own. Well, don't know that. I mean, I guess the point is I don't know if I want to own it, so I picked it up from the library. This one looks really new, and that's also another thing. I wanted to pick up books that were recent releases, so I knew that it wouldn't have been in the system for, you know, decades plus. But this one says, Sloane Parker is dreading her birthday. She doesn't need a reminder she's getting older or that she's feeling indifferent about her own life. Her husband surprises her with a birthday weekend getaway. Not with him, but with Sloane's longtime best friend, troublemaker extraordinaire Naomi. Sloane anticipates a weekend of wine tastings and cozy robes, and strategic avoidance of issues she'd rather not confront, such as her husband's repeated infidelity. But when they arrive at their rental cottage, it becomes clear Naomi has something else in mind. She wants Sloane to stop letting things happen to her, for Sloane to really live. So Naomi orchestrates a wild night out with a group of mysterious strangers, only for it to take a horrifying turn that changes Sloane's and Naomi's lives literally forever. The friends are forced to come to terms with some pretty eternal consequences in this bloody, seductive novel about how it's never too late to find satisfaction, even though it might taste different than expected. Okay, this is a vampire novel. Apparently it's a horror, which I did not know when I picked it up, so that's that. And yeah, it looks pretty clean. Can't wait, can't wait. The next book I picked up is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And I've heard relatively good things about this book. I've heard that people really like it, and I used to be a Marissa Meyer stan when I was a teenager. Of course, the Lunar Chronicles were my ish. And this one is based off of the Queen of Hearts, you know, Alice in Wonderland thing. And this says, Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland and a favorite of the unmarried king, but her interests lie elsewhere. A talented baker, she wants to open a shop and create delectable pastries. But for her mother, such a goal is unthinkable for a woman who could be a queen. At a royal ball where Kath is expected to receive the king's marriage proposal, she meets handsome and mysterious Jest. For the first time, she feels the pull of true attraction. At the risk of offending the king and infuriating her parents, she and Jest enter into a secret courtship. Kath is determined to choose her own destiny, but in a land thriving with magic, madness, and monsters, fate has other plans. I like all of it except for the fact that the love interest's name is Jest. I love everything but that. So, yeah. I think this is just going to be YA fun. let's see. I feel like I'll read most of these library books in the next vlog I do, so look out for that. Look out for that. But yeah, a Red Queen origin story, why she turned evil. Here for it. The next book, ooh, this one also looks very clean. The next book is a continuation in a series that I've been reading for what feels like 3 or 4 years, and it is The Game is a Footnote by Vicky Delaney, and this is book number 7 in the Sherlock Holmes Bookshop Mystery series, and this one says that this is about Gemma Doyle, no relation to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, but this is about Gemma, who owns a bookshop. I've talked about this series a little bit in the past, but they go to Scarlet House, which is a historical reenactment museum, and there's apparently a ghost. So, can't wait. These books always get a very favorable rating from me because they're just like, it follows a formula, and Gemma and Ryan are cute, and I like Jane, the best friend who does pastries. It's just a cozy book, and it is set in Cape Cod, so I like that as well. And this is a very good summer read, I feel. And I know we're not in summer yet, but we're getting there. We're getting close. What day does summer start this year? It's like June. It's either the 19th, 20th, or the 21st. It's always one of those. Okay, and then the last book that I picked up, which is a paperback, is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, or of Fairies. I love saying encyclopedia, like Ted from How I Met Your Mother. And this was the ultimate reason why I went to the library. I just wanted to read this book. And I just wanted to get this book because I've heard very mixed reviews. Even the woman that was checking me out at the library was like, I hope you enjoy this, because I DNF'd it. It was so boring. And I was like, okay. And I don't really know what it's about. I haven't looked it up at all. I've just heard it on BookTube and on Bookstagram. And I've heard that it's cozy. And this says, Cambridge professor Emily Wilde is good at many things. She is the foremost expert on fairies. She is a genius scholar and a meticulous researcher who is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore. But Emily Wilde is not good at people. She can never make small talk at a party, or even get invited to one. And she prefers the company of her books, her dog Shadow, and the fair folk to other people. So when she arrives in the hard-scrabble village of Hrafsnik, Emily has no intention of befriending the gruff townsfolk. Nor does she care to spend time with another new arrival, her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell Bambleby, who manages to charm the townsfolk, muddle Emily's research, and utterly confound and frustrate her. But as Emily gets closer and closer to uncovering the secrets of the Hidden Ones, the most elusive of all fairies, lurking in the shadowy forest outside the town, she also finds herself on the trail of another mystery. Who is Wendell Bambleby? And what does he really want? To find the answer, she'll have to unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. Okay, honestly, this sounds like it's not my cup of tea, so I'm glad I picked it up from the library. It sounds like I'm not gonna have a good time, but I will keep my biases over there, and we're gonna have a good time reading this, hopefully. But this sounds like, what is this? It sounds like that other book that I read, Half a Soul. It sounds like that book, which I did not enjoy. Because there's books that just seem like they're being cozy for cozy's sake and don't actually have a plot. Now this one sounds like it has a plot, but we'll see how it's executed. We shall see. So yeah, those are the books that I picked up, and when it comes to reading, I believe I have 12-ish% left of Sense and Sensibility, so I'm gonna try and finish that tonight, and that might be the end of this vlog. We shall see. I finished Sense and Sensibility. We did it. This gorgeous, gorgeous copy has been finished. I really enjoyed that, and I did not expect to. I don't know why. I thought, I'm not an Austen person. I guess it'd just been a while since I read an Austen, and I think the last one I read was Persuasion, and that one really just did not do it for me. And it's been a while since I read it, like Pride and Prejudice, so speaking of which, this one is not, in my opinion, better than Pride and Prejudice, just because, I mean, Lizzie Bennet, come on. But still, this was so good. I gave it 4 stars, 4.5. Jury's still out. Eleanor, man. This book, I think this book was just about sisters. It was about seeing your sister one way, and then, honestly, what I got from it was that everyone thought that Eleanor was cold and unfeeling just because she had sense. But no, her sense made it so that she was able to be the master of her own emotions, because when, like, everything was hitting the fan, she was still able to compose herself and act like a lady. So Eleanor is just, she might be one of my favorite characters this year. Might be. So I'm not sure what happened towards the end, like when it came to the romances, because it just seemed like for the last 50 pages, Jane was like, wait, I need to wrap all of this up. So when it came to Marianne and her character, I feel like she didn't really get the page time she deserved, especially because she seemed like such a main character from the beginning, and she was a main character, but the way that her arc wrapped up was a little crazy. But all of the himbos that needed to get their comeuppance, they did. So I was quite pleased when it came to that front. And we did have a very nice declaration scene. And you guys know, if you remember me talking about cover story earlier in the video, I love a declaration scene. So that was lovely. It was just a chef's kiss book. I'll definitely need to reread it because I feel like this for every book I read, but more so for classics. I feel like I don't get everything. Like, not that I'm not reading it, but I feel like there's just a lot of nuance that I miss because I'm a human in 2025, you know? And I'm not reading it with like a fine-tooth comb. I'm just enjoying it. So I feel like, not if, but when I do read this again in the future, I will I'll glean a lot more from it than I did this time. But even so, I feel like I got a lot from this book. And is this a spoiler? I don't know if this is a spoiler. But basically, there's like a whole not a recap, there's a whole telling of what's happening with people, and like after all of the scandals that occur, what happened to the parents of these people, and yada yada yada, so on and so forth. And there's a letter that was given from Lucy, and let's see if this, okay, this might be a little bit of a spoiler. If you don't want to know like the teeniest amount of this, skip forward like a couple seconds, like 20 seconds. But Lucy sends a letter to somebody, and it says, I have burnt all your letters and will return your picture the first opportunity. Please to destroy my scrawls, but my ring with my hair you are very welcome to keep. And I just thought that was crazy. The gall, even at the end, Lucy still has the gall. But yeah, I really liked that. I really liked it. And I cannot wait to do a little journal entry, a reading journal, for this one. as you saw last night, Prince Caspian has become my little bedtime read, and it's so cute. It is the sequel to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but by C.S. Lewis, and I've been meaning to pick it up since I read the first book, and just decided to just dive a little deeper into it. And it's so short. There's pictures in it, but strangely enough, I'm going very slow for a children's book. But I think that's because I'm taking a couple notes, and because it's very allegorical. It's C.S. Lewis was a big Christian, so that's why I'm taking so long, because I'm looking at it through the mindset of this isn't just a story. This is him trying to imbue this sense of faith and retelling of this story to the youths. So that's why I'm going so slow, I think. At least I'm telling myself that. And yeah, so this one is about the Pevenses, and they have been away from Narnia for about a year, and they get called back randomly before they go to school, and it looks like they've been gone a lot longer than a year since the first book. And of course, Prince Caspian, the title, this is the introduction of him, and I remember that I watched the movie when I was little. And I think that's all that I did. I really didn't, I wasn't a Narnia girl growing up, but I did watch the movie, and I did have a crush on Prince Caspian. I did. But yeah, so I'm about halfway through. I really want to finish it today because I want to have this video up by Friday. So we'll see if that happens. But I keep getting sidetracked by journaling and buying journaling supplies and being crafty and arty, and now I basically just have to go and I have to teach, so I have to get out of my house. I know, it's awful. Okay, I'm gonna go teach, and then hopefully I will come back and read. Hello folks, we find ourselves at the end of another day and at the end of the vlog with good news, because I finished Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis. This was very good. 5 stars. We've had 2 5-star reads in this video and a 4.5, which now I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to bump it up to a 5, but anyway. Yes, this was very sweet, very cute. Cute, that's not the right word. I'm sorry, C.S. Lewis. I didn't mean to call your book cute. It gave me the same feelings as the first book, but now that I know how I read the first book, it informed how I read this one as well, if that makes any sense. This one is all about the evil king sits on the throne of Narnia, and it forces all of the talking beasts and creatures into hiding. And so Prince Caspian is the rightful king, and it says it in little inside flap. Well, we get his story interspliced with the Pevenses. So that was really interesting. I remember being really entertained by it in the movie theater when I watched this movie. And I thought I liked Susan more. I'm really not a Susan fan. And I understand why she is the way she is. If you don't know, Susan's the older sister of Lucy. So Lucy has Peter, Susan, and Edmund above her. And Lucy really is pulling through for the Pevenses. She's pulling her weight when it comes to belief, I guess you could say. And you'd think, this is why it makes me so mad. It's like whenever a character is saying something and they've said it before and they turn out to be right that time. So then the next time they say it again and you're like, oh Lucy. And you're like, did we not learn? So it kind of felt like that a little bit. It was like a did we not learn moment. But there were also a lot of moments in here that made me write them down and think about, and I just really liked it. It was very wholesome, very cute. Again, I said cute, I'm so sorry. Was there, I feel like there was like a love story between Caspian and Susan in the movie. So I kind of expected that in the book, but I mean, why would they put that in a children's story? I understand why they did it for the movie, just to give it a little oomph. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Really loved all the talking animals and just the land of Narnia. And the end was very like good, but also sad because of where it leaves some of the Pevenses. So yeah, I need to get to the third book, which publication order, not sure which one that is. We will find that out. Maybe we'll read it for a reading my series video, because I'm seeing that those are really popular now, and I'm like, I got a couple series to read. Why not? But yes, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and had a good time. And let me know if there are any books in this video that you'd like me to get to sooner rather than later, and I'll try and prioritize them. And overall and in general, I hope you have a lovely day or night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.